We made it. Number 100. Woo! Good afternoon, everyone. Well, we made it 100 episodes of the Deerwood Realty and Friends podcast. Wow, has it been a trip? We've done a lot. We've covered topics I've never even thought we could cover. And I'm happy about that. So it's taken a lot longer to get the last 50 done than the first. I don't know why that is, but I just wanted to say thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing on Spotify and things like that, Apple Podcast. And if you do like real estate stuff, real estate news, thoughts, opinion, subscribe to the Deerwood Realty YouTube channel. That's where I'm at. Also, we have a live stream. It's been at 9 o'clock in the morning. This was the 21st consecutive live stream this morning. Or maybe it was the 20th. But anyway, come and hang out on the live stream and chat, and let's have a good time. Wanted to get into some articles that I think are like the base Deerwood Realty articles. We have an article on dog poo. And we have an article on, what is it about? It's about a buyer blaming their real estate agent for an inspector, a home inspection gone wrong. So I feel like maybe 30% of all real estate is like the fun stuff where people are happy, and then the rest of it is sad and annoying. So let's go over them first. Here we are, this article. Help, my neighbor has a year's worth of dog poop pile up on his lawn. That doesn't sound good. This is Dear Prudence. As you know, I love to do advice. So we'll just see what this says. It says, Dear Prudence, our neighbor owns a large pack of dogs and hasn't picked up after them in more than a year. My spouse and I are at odds whether to report him to the city. We asked him politely about a month ago to remove the waste, and he was non-committal. So how did that go? Always interested. How does that conversation go? Hey, man, it's nice that you have a bunch of dogs over there, but it smells really bad. Would you please pick up the dog poo in your yard? It says he was non-committal. So he's like, yeah, I'll think about it. When 2 weeks went by and nothing happened, my spouse asked again politely, and the guy blew up at him. I don't know what that's about. Like, he's angry. Would you please stop asking me to pick up my dog poo? Is probably what he was saying. It should be noted that each time my spouse offered to assist in removing the waste, which I wouldn't do. Like, I guess I'm not that good of a person. He then removed a few bags of waste, but since the mountain of waste was so big, this has done nothing to fix the problem. Mountain of waste in your neighbor's backyard of dog feces. Meanwhile, the flies are atrocious, and I cannot play with my toddler in the backyard because the smell makes me gag. My spouse says the guy is talking about moving and we should wait it out, but I'm going nuts. Is it worth calling the city even if we start a feud with this guy? And how do I convince my spouse? Well, what would you do? I mean, they're asking prudence. I mean, there's a health risk here, right? There's a health issue. I would say call the city. I mean, my neighbor has dogs and they don't ever pick up the dog poo, and it's just kind of the way it is. But they don't have a pack of dogs either. So that's kind of one of those things. When you move into a neighborhood, do you just expect your neighbors to pick up after their dogs? I mean, I would think that would be okay, but what do I know? So what does Prudence say? I almost gagged just from reading your question. Of course, call the city. You've tried everything else, and this sounds like it could be an actual health hazard. You don't have to convince your spouse, who I'm guessing is home looking for non-disgusting places to play with your toddler less than you are. You can just tell him you're going to do it, or that you already did it. How upset can he really be about taking steps to be able to go in your backyard without gagging after exhausting all other options. Now, I don't know what the rules are in municipalities. Do you? I mean, is there a certain amount of dog poo that is over the limit? Has there been a set limit? Is it by weight? Is it by pieces? Who is the arbiter of this issue? I don't know. As a real estate agent, I'm showing houses, and one house has like 6 dogs in the backyard, and you're looking at the house next door. Is that a reason not to move in? Yes. Is that petty? No. Why? Well, look at the situation this person's in now. And you say, well, John, maybe they moved in. Maybe they moved in before the guy moved in. Well, now you got to really be dealing with something that you never thought you'd have to. I don't know. Report them to the city. Hope that the city does something. I'm all for that. If the guy gets mad at you, he's already out. He's got a pack of dogs in his backyard and isn't picking up after them. So I feel like you have the moral high ground here. Next article. Oh, leave a comment down in the comment section below if you disagree with me or Prudence. Real estate matters. Buyer believes agent's inspector missed HVAC problem. Now, how is this framed? Agent's inspector. I purchased a home in June. My real estate agent hired an inspector and collected a fee from my husband and me. The inspector wrote an inspection report that minor problems were showing. I paid a second fee for him to come return after the owners repaired the problems to ensure that everything was in great shape. So I don't know where this is. It says the Herald Tribune. I don't know. So in St. Louis, hire a home inspector. Do they find everything? No. What do I tell my clients? What do I tell my buyers' clients? Hey, this is a home inspector. They're not going to find everything. They need to find the big things, but sometimes they don't. That's what I tell them ahead of time. I do not pay home inspectors. I do order the home inspector out and schedule it if that's what the buyers ask me to do. I will give them names of inspectors. But let's go through it. It says, we closed and moved into the home. The very day we moved in the house, water started leaking from the ceiling and the HVAC system malfunctioned. We had an independent HVAC company come out to assess the problem. The temperature in the house was over 100 degrees and we have 2 toddlers. He stated that there was an obvious pre-existing condition that anyone should have been able to identify. This would be especially true for a home inspector. Okay. Now, again, I don't know where this is. In St. Louis, is every single home inspector well-versed at HVAC repairs? No. Could something have happened to the HVAC system between the time the sellers moved out and you moved in? Yes. Do bad things happen when you own a house? Definitely. We paid the home inspector twice, $425 for the initial assessment and $100 to verify that the minor issues were addressed. But the HVAC was obviously defective, and we spent the first 2 weeks in this home without air conditioning. Should we go after the broker, the home inspector, or the seller? So these people were inconvenienced, and they believe that they should sue. It's very interesting, as far as this inspection, $425 for an assessment and $100 to verify the minor issues were addressed. A couple of things here. One, in St. Louis, in a very, very hot market, we would not be fixing minor issues because we would probably be selling the house as is. Number 2, I've never seen a home inspector go back and check if the issues were addressed. So this is it's odd the way it's written. It's odd to me because it's just not the way we normally do things in St. Louis. The line says, but the HVAC was obviously defective. I don't know if it was obviously defective. I'm not an expert. Here we go. Let's start here. This is the answer. When you get the name of a home inspector or real estate or anyone else who's going to provide a service to you during your real estate transaction, please spend the time to investigate whether that person or company is good at what they do and is the right person or company for you to hire. So that's why I do videos on YouTube. That's why I like to talk to people and find out a little bit more about them before we work together, because I don't know if we're a good match. I know I'm good at what I do, but I don't know that you know that, and I don't know that you would know if I was good at it. But anyway, We find it disconcerting that your real estate agent hired your inspector. That is disconcerting. I'll schedule one, but I won't hire him. Typically, agents will give you a list of several inspectors. And so what that does is that relieves liability for the brokerage and for the agent. And then you can interview each of them to see which one is the best fit. Now, that doesn't happen here, but maybe it will in the future. This has several benefits. You'll learn more about what different inspectors offer in the way of price and service, and you'll figure out whether your personality is a mesh with this person, which is important because you're going to follow that person around during the inspection to learn about mechanical systems of the property you're about to buy. While many real estate agents offer great recommendations for home inspectors, you can't just rely on their word and not do your own research. Well, I mean, you're in a crunch for time, so if you want to spend a bunch of time worrying about which inspector to choose, I mean, we got 30 days to get this thing closed. Now, you can still have a hit and miss with agent service providers. Yes, I have hit and misses with agents, with my service providers all the time, and I get rid of them. And then I get new ones, and then their problem. So, I mean, that happens. Post-closing things happen. Yes. It's not unusual for us to receive letters from readers letting us know that as soon as they move into the home, they find problems. 100%. This past winter, we learned from a couple that closed on an expensive home in New York. The roof leaked the night they moved into the property. Often, our readers find problems with older air conditioning systems when they turn them on for the first time after winter or during a heat wave. Yes. Yes. What new homeowners of older homes learn is that sometimes systems fail. Yes, older air conditioning systems may suddenly fail after a long winter, even if it worked fine during the last cooling season. And heat waves, like those experienced in northwestern and southwestern U.S. this summer, can put stress on an older HVAC system and it will just die. For the most part, a home inspector doesn't have a crystal ball to let them know when or how the system will fail. That's true. I can't emphasize enough that you just don't know what's going to happen when you own a home. You just don't know. That's why sometimes some sellers will offer a warranty for the home, for the repairs. That might be something you should look into if this is something that's very, very concerning to us. For us, the relevant issue is determining what the inspector saw when he toured the property both times and what his report told you about the condition of the HVAC system. We're also wondering if the contractor you hired was legitimate and not simply trying to sell you a new system. That's true too. Do you know how aggressive HVAC repair people have become in selling new systems? We frequently get questions from readers letting us know that their home inspector missed something, but in reality, the problem is coincidental, 100%. After hard rain, you can get water in your basement, even if the basement never had leakage or a seepage problem. During a big snow followed by a long cold spell, an ice dam can form, and the roof might develop new leaks. A home inspector can't see or find everything. That's right. Having said that, we are seeing more home inspectors rely on checklists when inspecting homes and losing the forest for the trees. So they're just going off a checklist and they don't really get into it. And so what they mean is they may point out loose cabinet doors or a missing GFC outlet in an old bathroom, but fail to see foundation cracks or other potentially big ticket items. And that's why I want my buyers to go with a home inspector to find the big ticket items. I could care less about a light switch that's broken. I could care less about a loose cabinet door. But if it's an HVAC problem, if it's a roof, if it's something structural, I want the inspector to find that. Interestingly, you say that the air conditioner contractor you hired said that anybody could have seen the problem with your system, but you didn't mention what the problem was. If the outside compressor was missing, that would have been pretty obvious. And then this guy says he has a client that recently closed on a home where the HVAC system suddenly stopped and claims the seller must have known that the system didn't work properly even though it passed inspection. Will your existing home warranty cover the cost? Like I said, maybe that's the way to look at that. Maybe many homes today are sold with an existing warranty. We checked with one warranty company and the policy excludes existing defects or mechanical failures that could have been detected by a visual inspection or simple mechanical test. If you have an existing home warranty and haven't called the service number yet, you may wish to do so. At this point, we're not sure where the blame lies. Unless you find a smoking gun, it's hard to prove that the inspector was at fault or that the seller deceived you. If we assume your inspector was incompetent and missed the air conditioning issue, you should call that inspector and discuss it. If the inspector admits to missing the problem, you should try to get what you can from him, which will typically be a refund of the money you paid for both inspections. What inspector is going to admit to missing the problem? Like, how is he going to do that? If your sellers did something wrong and actively hid the problem, you may have a claim against the seller as well. Seller disclosure claims are hard to prove. An attorney can discuss whether you're likely to have any luck here and whether it would be worth going after the seller. Finally, unless you can prove the agent knowingly lied to you about the air conditioning system, you should spend your energy elsewhere. Good luck. That was very well done. That was absolutely well done. That's absolutely right. People have bad things happen to them, random, and they automatically assume or attribute blame to someone else. Now, I don't like that. If I was representing the buyers and the air conditioning went out, I would be unhappy for them. I've had someone move into a house and the power panel blew up the day they moved in, and they had a warranty and they took care of it. It was fine, but things happen with a house, especially if you haven't lived in it for a while. Like if you move out or the house is empty and it hasn't been occupied for a couple months and you move in, you can just expect things that were totally fine when the seller moved out to be messed up now. That's what I have for you today. We had a mountain of dog poop, buyers angry at their agent or anyone, reaching out for some sort of assistance, some sort of sign. They've been wronged. And that's kind of how Deerwood Realty and Friends podcast goes. We just talk about things that seem relevant to the real estate business. Things I've encountered, things I will encounter. It's been fun. 100 episodes. Let's do 100 more. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll catch you on the next one.